And we're live. Welcome back to the channel. We've just literally, while you're watching this, a moment ago, filmed our 43rd episode, I believe, with Matt Thorpe. So check that out after this video. This is just a quick one because we're going to give our thoughts on what was going to be the European Super League. And I believe the leaders and the clubs have listened to myself and James on our passionate rants the other day. And looks like the European Super League is no more. I'll let you set off, James.
I mean, in a way, on the Tuesday, the football fans won. It was fans won European Super League 0. So I think we sort of rejoiced in that sense because the top six fans of Manchester City, Chelsea, United, Tottenham and Arsenal and Liverpool all sort of came together to form this alliance, probably for like the one day, because they're just going to go back to hating each other, to sort of express their hatred for the European Super League. And it was nice to see the top boards and the top people at UEFA and the European Super League, etc., listen. But as soon as Chelsea left, everyone else started to fall and leave with the Blues. But I know, and from what I saw, Real Madrid, Barcelona, I think Juventus are the only three teams left in it.
Have both Milan clubs withdrawn?
Sorry?
Have both Milan clubs withdrawn?
Yeah. Well, allegedly Inter Milan have, but then allegedly AC Milan they did, but apparently they're still like flirting with the interest of going back to it. But
it can't happen now.
No, it can't happen now. But I think Florentino Perez came out yesterday and said, we're going to still do whatever we can to get this European Super League going. And the fans, he said there's barely any fans in attendance to protest the clubs. But I don't know what he was watching, because there's at least 1,000 or plus at Stamford Bridge before the Brighton game to protest. He was probably watching the Tottenham protest. There was only about 4 people there. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of them there.
Oh no, it's ridiculous. But it's sort of nice to see that the fans can have a say in football. If they truly care about something, they can come together, voice their opinion, and they can make a change and they can make a difference. But from my sort of perspective, this is only just the beginning. What are the board not telling us? There's just still something that just does not sit well with me at all with regards to the board. I genuinely think there still needs to be a change. I saw Ed Woodward resigned. I don't know if the Glazers are on the ropes. I still think somebody else out of the top six will resign. I think yesterday the Chelsea supporters group put in a vote of no confidence for the board. So I think they're sort of expressing their interest and their desire to get Bruce Buck out of his job. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just the beginning. Like I said, we need to sort of get rid of these owners and these boards who just have no interest in football whatsoever. And I know Chelsea allegedly came out and said, look, we were reluctant to join from the off, but that still doesn't make a difference. You still considered joining, you still joined, and you still wanted that money. Like, from my personal opinion, we didn't need to join. Chelsea and Manchester City did not need to join whatsoever. They've got the money. Why split off and break away into your own separate league and play Real Madrid, Juventus and all that every week, whereby we've got Real Madrid in the Champions League semi-final. The last time we played them was in 1998. We never, ever play Real Madrid in a cup competition in the Champions League. These are the nights I crave for. These are the nights I live for. And, it's a shame that the fans can't be in the stadium. But if we're playing the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Juventus every single week, it just takes away that passion away from the game, because we're just so obsessed with these, mouthwatering matchups. But if the European Super League did form, it just sort of takes that enjoyment of football away. But I know Florentino Perez truly believes that this isn't over. I hope it's over completely, but you just never know with football nowadays. And I think the next step is to boycott the board and the owners at the top six. And I think there's talks of UEFA sort of implementing their new structure in 2024, which is an absolute shambles with the wildcard picks. I don't know if you know how that works, but
I don't think it works.
Apparently, I don't know. So, for an example, my mate told me yesterday. So if Ajax got to, when they went to the Champions League semi-final last season, and they get sort of an automatic pass back into the Champions League next season. So say if United finish 6th in the league, obviously that's traditionally a Europa League space. But say if they got to the Champions League the season before, they got to semi-finals, they'd automatically get re-entry to the Champions League because of the wildcard picks, and there's only like 3 in total from UEFA, which does not make sense at all, personally. So we need to boycott the clubs, the boards, and we also need to boycott UEFA, because I know they're threatening to take legal action and all that, but they're just as bad as the European Super League. They're just as bad as Agnelli and Perez of Real Madrid. So it's just one step in the right direction, but it's not over yet.
You mentioned before about Ed Woodward and the Glazers. Obviously, Woodward has resigned. He will be leaving United. I believe it's at the end of the year and not the season.
Yeah, that's very odd.
Yeah, but I think, like we were saying yesterday off camera, it's the players and actual coaching staff are contracted by season. I think they're contracted by a usual job, like by year. So yeah. I'm guessing that's why it's like that. But obviously, Ed Woodward has resigned, which I am quite glad about. I think 99% of United fans are. But I also seen a group of about 20 United fans got into Carrington this morning, the training ground, and was protesting. And then it took Solskjaer, Michael Carrick, Darren Fletcher, and Nemanja Matic to speak to them to get them to go. As I think I've seen that they're planning a protest at Old Trafford on this Saturday, to track, a Glazers out protest. I've seen that online. I shared it myself. So I don't know how many people, but I'm just hoping the Glazers are going to listen, because obviously they've got no place in football. The Glazers don't know nothing about football. The money, that's all they wanted. That's all they want, money. And I get it, but you shouldn't be in football. Yes, football's got a lot of money, but shouldn't be within football if that's all you're after.
I mean, I think personally the Glazers have just sort of quivered behind the shadows and only sort of dipped their toes into the deep end as soon as money's involved. Other than that, they have no interest in the sort of the footballing side of it. They're only interested in the business. I say business a lot when it comes to football in this day and age, because that's what it is to these owners. It's a business. They're thinking of new ways in which they can line their pockets. And it's sickening to see, because like I said a couple of days ago, the whole concept of the European Super League just goes against everything that football's about. And you look at the formations of the clubs 100 plus years ago, the working class building this team up from nothing, and to see it sort of die a brief spell about a couple of days ago was heartbreaking to see, because it just meant that the rest of the season meant nothing. But like I said, the war's only just begun with these boards and with these owners and with these corrupt officials at UEFA and in the European Super League, and with the Agnelli and Perez. So I just think it's sickening how these are sort of, they're trying to Americanize the game. That's what I think. That's my personal opinion. I genuinely believe that this whole idea was to Americanize football, and that should not happen by no means least.
100%. I remember seeing on Tuesday night, I believe, when the protests were going on, I've seen a few live streams of the people at the Chelsea Stadium outside protesting. I remember blowing your phone up, telling you Chelsea's quit, City's quit. Now Ed Wood's resigned, obviously. Then Arsenal, Liverpool, Tottenham, they all followed suit, and I'm glad, but I'm also disappointed that it took fans to protest for him to withdraw. Like, why? I'm disgusted anyway that they even considered it, never mind actually signing it. So that's what angered me a bit. But with the United fans and the Glazers, I'm hoping this protest on Saturday, whether it goes ahead or not, I'm hoping it can raise a bit of awareness and maybe get the Glazers to it. As much as I want it to, this one protest at Old Trafford is not going to make the Glazers sell Manchester United. It's going to have to take multiple protests, multiple boycotts. And if the fans are willing to do that, I'm hoping the Glazers listen. Because look, like you said, over 1,000 fans turned up to Stamford Bridge the other day. With everything going on, obviously, COVID or not, they still turned up and made their voices heard. Obviously, some of it may not have been fully acceptable. Like, I'm not sure on the full story, but they was apparently blocking the players from going in the stadium or something, which caused Petr Cech to come outside and speak to them. that part I don't agree with, because obviously players and the managers have nothing to do with it. They don't agree with it, which they've voiced their opinions on. But with the United fans, I'm hoping these protests continue till the Glazers are willing to sell the club. I know it's not going to happen, but I seen Conor McGregor's willing in buying, so I'm all for it. Let him buy the club, get the Glazers out.
He hasn't got the money.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he's got the money to take
He
over.
may have money, but he's not got £3 billion in the bank. I know that. Get Floyd Mayweather instead. But no, I'm just hoping that the board actually listens to the United fans for once. I think if Chelsea and Man City did not pull out, and if the fans did not turn up at Stamford Bridge on Tuesday, we would still be looking at the European Super League how we were seeing it Tuesday. And I truly believe that would be the case, just because the boards weren't going to do that just because of a couple of Twitter messages or whatever. It got the fans to actually turn up, voice their opinion, to be heard. And if that didn't happen, then I think we'd still be seeing United, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea in the European Super League. And I think we'd be looking at it. We'd be a lot more angry now, considering the plans would have developed a lot more. I just think, I'm hoping the protests work, but I'm just glad that the Super League is not going to happen. But I do believe there should be some sort of punishment as such as a fine or something from these 6 clubs, just so they know, obviously, that they shouldn't have even considered it, never mind signed the agreement. But that's what I'm hoping for. We'll just have to see in the coming days and see how this protest Saturday goes at Old Trafford.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm in total agreement with you. I still think it's not done yet with the European Super League with regards to the Premier League and the English governing bodies taking action against the top 6.
100%. Well, we've covered the Super League and what's gone on, so I'm happy to leave this little video here if you are.
Yeah, that's perfect with me, man.
Well, everyone, we should have a couple of episodes or 1 or 2 next week. Stay tuned for them, and take care, everyone, and I hope you've enjoyed the past few episodes we've had this week.